Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and continue on with chapter 9. We're talking about exponents. So for this lesson, we are going to be talking about the product of power. The product means we're going to be multiplying. So we're multiplying our exponents together. Okay, remember from our last lesson, we have a base, which is the big number. We have an exponent, which is the little number. And we have a power, which is all of it together. Okay, so we're multiplying a product of powers. So we're taking our powers and we're multiplying them together. Okay, so first we're going to need to talk about some properties that we have. So we have the product of powers property. In words, this means we're going to multiply our powers with the same base. And whenever we do that, we'll add their exponents. So what that means is if I have 4 to the second times 4 to the third, these powers have the same base. They're both 4s. So I'm going to add their exponents. So it's going to say 4 to the second plus 3, which is going to give me 4 to the fifth. Okay, if I were to write that algebraically, I would say a to the m power times a to the n power would be a to the m n power. Okay, here's power of a power property. The power of a power property says to find the power of a power, you multiply the exponent. So it's taking the power, so we're taking the 4 to the third, and we're going to go ahead and give that another exponent. So what that looks like is if I were to have 4 to the sixth, and I want to raise that to the third power, this 3 is going to everything inside those parentheses. So I'm going to multiply it to that 6. So I'm going to have 4 to the 6 times the third, which is 4 to the 18th. So let's look at this. Okay. That should be n plus n, I'm sorry. Look at the difference. We're taking 4 to the second times 4 to the third. Okay, so that's whenever we add. Here, we're taking 4 to the sixth, and we're raising it to the third power. That is whenever we multiply. Okay, so in algebra terms, that would say a to the m times a to the n would give me a to the mn. Okay, multiply together. Now I have power of a product property. This says to find the power of a product, you must find the power of each factor and multiply. So what that means is inside my parentheses, I'm taking 3 times 2, and I'm taking that 3 times 2 and I'm multiplying it to the fifth power. That fifth power goes to every number inside the parentheses. So what that's saying is 3 to the fifth times 2 to the fifth. Okay, so I'm taking that fifth power and I'm multiplying it to each of those. Then I would go ahead and multiply it out, which would give me 243 times 32, which is 7,776. Okay, so in algebra terms, I would have a, b in parentheses to the m power. That m power would go to my a and to my b, so I would have a to the m power times b to the m power. Okay, so we're going to start off simple. We're going to start off with multiplying powers with the same base. So if you look back, whenever we're multiplying powers with the same base, all we do is we add our exponents. Okay, so I'm going to have 2. My base is 2. So I'm going to have 2, 4 plus 5, which is going to give me 2 to the 9th power. Okay, and for this part, we can just leave it 2 to the 9th power. Okay, here I have -5 times -5 to the 6th power. If there's just a -5 without an exponent, remember, whenever a number is by itself, it has an understood 1. So it's really -5 to the first. So it's like saying -5 to the 1 plus 6, which is going to give me -5 to the 7th. Okay, here I have x's. I have x to the 3rd times x to the 7th, which is going to give me x to the 3 plus 7, which is going to give me x to the 10th. Next, I have 6 to the 2nd times 6 to the 4th. That's going to give me a base of 6. 2 plus 4. So I'm going to have 6 to the 6th. Relatively simple. Multiplying powers with the same base is very simple. We're just adding our exponents together. Okay, now we're going to find the power of a power. So this is where I'm taking what's inside my parentheses, so 3 to the 4th power, and I'm raising it to the power that's outside of the parentheses. So I'm taking that power and I'm going to give it another power. This is where I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to have 3 to the 4th times the 3rd. 4 times 3 is 12, so I'm going to have 3 to the 12th power. Next, I have w to the 5th raised to the 4th, which means I have w to the 5th times the 4th, which means I have w to the 20th. Next, I have 4 to the 4th raised to the 3rd. So my base is going to be 4. I'm going to take it to the 4th power times the 3rd power, which is going to give me 4th to the 12th. And last, I have negative 4 to the 3rd power raised to the 2nd power. So I'm going to have negative 4 to the 3rd times the 2nd power, which is going to give me negative 4 to the 6th power. Okay, so just a quick recap. Whenever you're multiplying like bases, you add your exponents. Whenever you're raising your power to another power, you multiply your exponents. Here, we're going to find the power of a product. So we're taking a product, 2 times x, and we're raising it to the 3rd power. So I need to make sure that 3rd power, that 3, goes to my 2 and to my x. So I'm going to say 2 to the 3rd power times x to the 3rd power. Here, we need to go ahead and simplify. 2 to the 3rd power. Well, 2 to the 3rd power is 8. So I'm going to have 8x to the 3rd. Okay, next I have 3xy to the 2nd power. I need to make sure that 2 gets to the 3, to the x, and to the y. So I'm going to have 3 squared times x squared times y squared. Well, 3 squared is 9, so I'm going to have 9x squared y squared. Next, I have 0.5 mn raised to the 2nd power. So I'm going to make sure, again, this 2 gets to the 0.5, to the m, and to the n. So I'm going to have 0.5 to the 2nd times m to the 2nd times n to the 2nd. Okay, that's going to give me 0.25 m to the 2nd, n to the 2nd. Don't forget, only whenever you're doing finding a power to a power do I need you to go ahead and find what your base is raised to that number. Okay, so go ahead and work it out whenever you're finding the power of a product. And last one, I have 5yz to the 4th power. So I'm going to distribute that 4th power. So I'm going to have 5 to the 4th, y to the 4th, z to the 4th. I need to go ahead and work that out, which is going to give me 625, y to the 4th, z to the 4th. Okay, and that is all that I have for you for lesson 9.2 notes. Make sure you go and fill out your 5 practice problems and turn those in to me on Google Classroom. You'll also have a quick Big Ideas math assignment. It's labeled lesson 9.2 review. Make sure you get that handed in to me. And please shoot me an email if you have any questions at all over any of your work. Good luck.